Greetings, fellow horror fans. We're looking at the Candyman series now continues on with Candyman 3 Day of the Dead. In 2020, 25 years after the events of the second film in 1995, a Candyman-themed gallery event hosted by artist Miguel Velasco in Los Angeles is attended by Caroline McKeever, daughter of Annie Tarrant and Paul McKeever from the second film and a direct descendant of the Candyman. Caroline summons the Candyman by saying his name 5 times in a mirror. Shortly afterward, the Candyman kills Miguel and his lover Lena with his hooked hand. Miguel's gallery is soon broken into by a local gang who steals the Candyman's paintings. Caroline talks to her roommate Tamara about the Candyman. It is revealed via flashback that the Candyman killed Caroline's dementia-ridden mother while she was taking a bath by slitting her throat with his hook. Annie summoned him and her death was believed to be a suicide. A couple hours beforehand, when last seen with her alive, Annie had told Caroline to destroy the myth. The murders are pinned on David de la Paz, a friend of Miguel's, who soon gets acquainted with Caroline. After visioning the Candyman and the ghost of her mother in a diner bathroom, she comes clean with David about her history. He takes her to his grandmother, a psychic healer, who informs Caroline that she must destroy the good part of the Candyman in order to eliminate the evil. She shows Caroline visions that the good part of the Candyman lies within his paintings. Afterwards, the Candyman kidnaps David and keeps him stored in an unknown building, swinging from hooks pierced into his back. After the Candyman kills Tamara, Caroline is taken in for questioning. A seasoned police detective L.V. Sacco is murdered by the Candyman while Caroline is in the car, which both brings her heat from the local authorities and earns her hate from Sacco's partner, Lieutenant Detective Samuel Deacon Kraft, who had no intention of bringing her in alive. When Caroline goes to an abandoned building to retrieve the paintings from the gang who stolen from Miguel's gallery, she is captured by them and knocked out. She awakens tied to a chair and gagged. The gang summons the Candyman in the hopes of sacrificing Caroline, but the Candyman kills the entire gang instead. Caroline explores the building and finds David alive, but injured. The Candyman suddenly appears and attempts to convince her to give her life to him. However, Caroline destroys a painting of him with a hook, which causes a similar wound to appear on him. She slips and causes a candle to light the painting on fire, causing the Candyman to burst into flames. Caroline frees David but is attacked by Detective Kraft, who tries to kill her with a hook. He is shot in the back of the head by Detective Jamal Matthews, who was following Kraft. Before he dies, Kraft gasps out Candyman. Caroline remembers her mother's advice to destroy the myth and tells Matthews that Kraft was the Candyman this whole time. After the news is released that Kraft was the Candyman, Caroline states there was no such thing as the Candyman, in front of a mirror to ensure he is dead. The Candyman's hook bursts through the mirror, but is never able to just be a nightmare. Caroline is speaking with David and his daughter, Christina, in front of Annie's grave as the Day of the Dead celebrations continue. She is finally happy and is convinced the Candyman no longer exists. So let's take a look at the production of this movie. According to the audio commentary, filming took place in Boyle Heights, east side Los Angeles, over a short period of 18 days, with an additional 2-3 days spent on second unit shots. This meant that the actors would only have a maximum of 2 takes before they had to move on to another scene. The budget was also closer to $1 million instead of $3 million. Production hired Norman Gary to handle the bees, as he did in the previous 2 films. It was originally believed that rehiring him would be too expensive. However, Norman's desire to remain with the franchise caused him to reduce his fee. The graffiti on the subway walls was done by real graffiti artists. Crew members cut a group of them tagging in the area near production and offered each of them $100 to do the same type of artwork on their subway set. Composer Adam Gorgoni had intended to use themes from the previous 2 films, but was forced to create an entirely new score when the production was not given permission to use any music from Philip Glass. After filming was completed, there was no more money for an opening credits sequence, and the production company told the director to just play the credits over the opening dream sequence. Wanting something more cinematic, the cinematographer and director worked together to find extra equipment and leftover film rolls from principal photography. The blacked out the windows of a garage and, using Candyman's hook prop, filmed an opening credits sequence at no extra cost. And now let's take a look at the canceled 4th film. In the 2004 interview for Fangoria, Tony Todd said that a fourth Candyman film is being prepared and is supposed to have a $25 million budget. Todd and Cliff Barker discussed storyboarding ideas during the crew's meetings. The sequel was meant to be Winterset, with action taking place in New England Women's College. It was canceled most likely because of the problems with determining who owns the Candyman franchise. Dion Taylor was linked to the project at one point, according to Todd. In their reply discussing, Todd elaborated, quote, I had an idea that they liked initially. It was going to take place in New England during a snowstorm, because I just had this image of Candyman in a blizzard. Because they're from New England, and I knew the power of having that mythic character in a snowstorm being undeterred by the elements. We got so far to establish him as a professor at a girls' college, end quote. Huh. Well, interesting that never ended up happening, so, yeah. So I think this movie is kind of interesting, I guess, but, yeah, and I like the fact that it does pick up some years after the events of the second film, so, yeah. However, this one did not get released in theaters, and it was actually released direct to video, so, yeah. So for all I give, Candyman 3, Day of the Dead, 4 jack-o'-lanterns out of 5. But anyway, two more as we take our final look at the Candyman series with 2021's Candyman. So until then, remember everyone, whatever you do, don't fall asleep.